Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to Tidbits and Scribbles. I am so excited to have started this show, to have become a part of the Rising Tide Network, which, if you don't know, is a group of creatives helping one another. We've brought together a whole bunch of different shows for you guys. So we have Comics, Chaos, and Sass with Heather Ellen on Sundays. We have Never Mind the Furthermore, Clever Title Pending, TED Talks, Clever as Hale, Amy Hale's YouTube channel, where she talks to other creatives. Let's see, we have Stupid O'Clock. We have my own, Tidbits and Scribbles. A video will be uploaded every Friday for you guys. I'm going to cover all kinds of things. That's why it's called Tidbits and Scribbles. Scribbles being the writing. The Historical Fencing Guild comes on right after this show. I'll remind you again at the end of this video. Let's see. So let's get to it. So today what I wanted to start with is what success means to you, because for everybody it's different. Now, I'm going to use some examples that are mine. Feel free to kind of jump off of that and use for your own. Kind of use that as an example, okay? So the first thing you have to do is you have to figure out what success means to you. Because for me and you, it's different. For me, my success is right back there on the shelf, right there on the shelf. See, over there. That's my success. I've done it. That's all I've ever wanted to do. I said to myself when I was a little girl, which is when Warrior Secret was written, ironically, I want to be a published author. And that quote-unquote book sat in a drawer for 20 years before I had the guts to do it. But long story short, right there, it's on the shelf. So define success first. So get your pen and paper out, write that down. What does success mean to you? And I can't tell you what it means to you. What it means to me is being able to do this full time and come home from the day job. I'm working towards that, and that's not that far in the future. And once that happens, these videos will then be live. I won't have to put them as, they're always going to be posted on Friday. So help me get there. Buy my books, review my books, tell me what you think, because I really do want to know. And eventually these shows will be live, and I'll get to interact with you. Okay, so then the next thing, you've written down your success, right? And then everybody tells you, think big, dream big, right? I'm about to flip that shit on its head. Think small. Back up. Back the truck up. Okay. You've got your big dream, right? Your big dream. For me, let's say my big dream is I want this giant piece of property where my friends and family can come and we can all just chill out, do whatever the heck we want to do. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. And here's how I'm doing it. I'm thinking small. Stop thinking big. I'm not saying don't dream it. I'm saying stop thinking big. Start thinking small. For instance, my writing stuff. When I started, I had no idea where to go, okay? No idea. So I start researching it. I use that thing called Google. So then I Googled writers in my area because I thought, well, let me talk to somebody who's done it, who knows what the heck they're doing. There's got to be some local authors. Sure enough, I found a thing called Writers on the River that I thought was like you get to meet writers and talk about writing. No, it's a book signing. I didn't know what a book signing was. I had never heard of one before. So I started there. So start small. So I looked up what it takes to get a book published, and I had found out that you need to write to an agent. You need to send them a query letter. What the hell is a query letter? So I looked that up. Found out what a query letter is. Then I found out you don't have to write a query letter to an agent sometimes. Sometimes you do. So you have to look into it. Some publishers ask for it, some publishers don't. Some you have to get an agent, some you don't. All of these things I had to learn on my own to figure out just how do you get a book published. Since then, I have figured out many things of you don't need an agent, you don't need a publisher, you can publish it on your own. There's a thing called Amazon KDP. So for me, I had to start that way. I had to start just these little things. And so maybe for you, it isn't getting a book published. Maybe it's getting your art out there in the world. Start with Instagram. Start with a local art thing going on in the park, if they're hosting a arts and crafts show, sign up, go. And don't just sit there at your booth, branch out and meet people. Because the more people you meet, the more you're going to talk. Well, I'm just starting with my art. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. You may find someone who's willing to take you under their wing and show you how this works. So think small. Don't think, I want to be a famous artist and I can't be because I'm not. Start small. If no one knows who you are, start telling people who you are. If you're a author and you want your work out there, find a contest that doesn't cost anything to enter and enter. And look small. Look at your local library. A lot of them do. A lot of them have a little writing contest, or they have a book club that you could join. Granted, it's not about your book, but it's getting in with other book nerds that love books. Just start networking with people. Start asking. So then a next goal you could have is, okay, I've learned how to publish. Now I'm going to attempt it. Okay? So then you've published. Now you've got your book. Start small. Start talking to people. Start finding out where to sell your book. Actually, you should probably do that before. But all these little goals will lead you to, got a book published. Got it, right there. I have another one that I can share with you. It's on like weight loss. Let's say you need to lose 50 pounds. Even to me, that sounds like a lot. I don't know that I could set that goal of I need to lose 50 pounds and do it tomorrow. I can't do it. So, but a small goal of I need to drink less soda. That's doable. So I still have my big dream. I still have that big goal, but I'm reaching it in small steps. I've never heard anybody getting to the top of a mountain by walking and not taking the first step. You can't get to the top of the mountain without taking the first step, unless you're taking a helicopter, and I ain't got one. So, one step at a time, one little goal at a time. Stop thinking of these big goals. Break it down, make it smaller, make it attainable. Because then another thing happens. When you reach that little goal, you feel good about yourself. You're like, hey, I did do that. That was me. That was all me. I did that. It was a little goal. Maybe you're not famous yet, but somebody else knows who you are. Somebody else knows your book. Somebody bought your book. Somebody bought your artwork. Now you're a little bit more famous. So stop thinking big is my big advice there. So number 3 that I wanted to share with you is my technique is I did better than yesterday. Nothing has ever worked for my weight loss. My weight has gone up and down, and it's been all over the place. Like after a kid, I would lose it, and then chasing the kid around for a couple years, I'd gain all that weight back. So the only thing I ever found that worked for that was I did better than I did yesterday. And when I applied it to all the other aspects of my life, I'll be damned if it didn't work again. Just strive to do better than you did yesterday. Not your friend Sally who lost 15 pounds in a week. Who cares? That's her. You need to do better than you did yesterday. So in the writing community, you hear lots of people say, well, I hit my word count, or this was my word count, or that was my word count. If word count is something that you want to strive for it. If you did 200 words yesterday and you think, it's only 200 words, do 201 today and you did more than you did yesterday. Now you've hit a goal. Now you feel better about yourself, and you're becoming more consistent. And the more consistent you become, the easier it is to build a habit. So take that little bit of I did better than I did yesterday and add a little bit of optimism. Because you could also do that I did better than yesterday in reverse. You can say to yourself, well, yesterday really sucked. I didn't get anything done. I'm worthless. I'm no good. I'm never going to make this. Have you ever heard a successful person talk that way? Because they don't think about it. They think about what they did get done, what they did do, and how they can do more tomorrow. And you'll even hear successful people say, I don't know, but I'll figure it out. They're not willing to sit back and say, well, I don't know how, so I'm not going to. Every interview I've ever seen, when a person gets asked about something they don't know, they're never like, well, I'm not going to do that. They'll figure it out. They never, the good ones, I should say, they don't tend to think in the negative. They think in the positive. And that's why it works. Stephen King wouldn't have published a book if he'd have listened to his negative thoughts. One of his books, he threw in the trash. Did you know that? He threw it in the trash. And his wife picked it up. I believe it was Christine. Don't quote me there. But his wife picked it up out of the trash and she said, no, this is good. This is good. You need to publish this. Had it been up to him and his negative thoughts, he'd have thrown it away. Yeah, not a great idea, huh? You can see where this is going. So now you figured out your success. You're going to be optimistic. You're going to strive for those small goals because small goals lead to big goals. Now, the biggest part. Everything's temporary. I don't care if you are striving for a weight loss goal, striving for getting that publishing deal, striving for getting your manuscript done so you can get it published. I don't care what it is, it's temporary. Because as all the headaches that I had working with the publisher, and it being my first publisher and my first book coming out for Warrior Secret, all of the headaches that I had, they're gone. But I learned from them. Every single headache I had, and every single time I said, I don't know that I'm cut out for this, I don't know if I can do it, every single time I came out of it knowing something that I didn't know before, or learning something about myself that I didn't know before or wasn't willing to admit before. So yes, it was a horrible experience, but it doesn't mean the publisher was horrible. It doesn't mean that the people at the publisher company was horrible. It just means my experience wasn't great. And partly it was my fault. Partly it was their fault. It just was what it was, but I learned from it. And since I learned from it, I learned that with Warriors Trust, I can do it myself with a little help from my friends. Because I'll be honest, I didn't do it on my own. I have a fantastic critique partner that helps me. And she's still helping me. There's still stuff that I'm like, how does this work? And why does it work that way? And I'm being antsy. Is this not working? And she's the one that says, calm your ass down. It'll be fine. It's temporary. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Everything is temporary. Every single thing is temporary, even life. So build your goals. Figure out what your success is to you. Look at your little goals as well as your big goals. And be optimistic. You'll get there. We all struggle. Every one of us. I don't care what they say on Facebook. I don't care what it looks like on Instagram. Their lives are not perfect. Their lives are no different than yours in most aspects. Everything's temporary. Hang on. You'll get it. There is better things coming, I promise. And with that, I will catch you on the flip-flop.